Hello everyone. You may know me mostly as a Thomas the Tank Engine fan or a Stefano the Super Cruiser enjoyer, but I have other interests, and the main one is Marvel Comics. And so I also collect some Marvel merch, most often comics and Lego. And because of that, I obviously got this Lego Fantastic Four versus Galactus set that came out last year, promoting that recent Fantastic Four movie. I got this set because, well, I mean, do I even need to explain it? This is something that every Lego fan has been waiting for, like, forever. Or at least a Lego Marvel fan, because Fantastic Four is like one of the most important themes in Marvel, and Galactus is one of those most important characters in the whole universe. So it was only just a matter of time, it was something that everyone wanted, and now it's finally here. It is, of course, based on the movie, it's not based on the comics. I would have preferred a comics version, but hey, the movie was good, the characters looked good in it, so I don't really have much to complain there. So yeah, let's start with the review, I guess. So, these are the minifigures and their accessories. So, I guess we'll start, with Richards because he's the leader of the team. Just a quick note, I painted these white things on his hair to be a little bit more accurate to the movie, because this was the biggest thing I felt was missing from the minifigure. But other than that, he and the other minifigures are exactly as they were, in the box. So, no other changes there. So, of course, this is based on the movie version where he was played by Pedro Pascal. So, he's a different ethnicity, I believe. His skin color is a little different, and I don't mind this at all because, Pedro Pascal, he played a really good Reed Richards. But I do hope that we get like a Reed based on the original design because, I just like that original design. It's one of those things that, really suits the character, I think. But yeah, still a really good design. The only thing I really don't like about this minifigure is the alternate face paint because he's smiling on both sides, and at that point, I feel like there's not really a point of these being two different face paints when they both have the same emotion. Because the other minifigures, Sue is smiling on one side, but then on the other she's angry. Same with the other two. And it's a shame because, let's say that you want to display them in battle. Well, you've got Sue who can be angry, Ben can be angry, Johnny he's scared, and then no matter which expression you give Reed, he's just smiling. So yeah, that's weird. The other thing that people don't really like about this minifigure is that his suit is slightly different from the other three. That's unfortunately accurate to the movie. He's missing this white collar below his neck. But I do wish that, the minifigures, they all had the same costume, like in the comics, but that's how it was in the movie, unfortunately. It also comes with the slacks, so you can make him taller. I admit this is a little goofy way to handle his stretching powers, cause it just looks a little bit goofier than it could if it was done a little bit differently, I feel. But it's good enough, and I am happy that this is an optional feature that you can remove. A lot of people wanted him to, for example, have those stretchy, bendy arms that they gave to Miss Marvel and Elastigirl a couple years ago. And that would be nice, and I hope they eventually make a 8 minifigure with those arms. But it's also good to have a default. Okay, so next we've got Sue. I think she is my favorite minifigure in this set. She's just, exactly how she should look. The hair choice, really good, and the face paint, also really good. So, like I showed, on the other side, she's angry, which is the perfect alternate expression that they could have chosen for Sue, because, she is very angry in several scenes in this movie, and for a good reason. So yeah, she comes with these two invisible shields. That's very nice. Of course, you can also put them on her feet like this. so it looks like she's perhaps levitating, but most people will probably put it in her hands like this. And yeah, I don't think there's really anything else to say about her. Oh, one thing, but that's about all the minifigures. Some people were a little bit disappointed with the lack of jewel-molded legs. They wanted them to be white on the bottom, and I understand this, but with how expensive Lego Marvel has been getting recently, do you really want this set to be even more expensive? Like, I'll gladly sacrifice a tiny bit of detail if it means, cheaper sets. But yeah, next we've got Johnny Storm. His face paint is one that they've used a lot of times, most notably for Peter Parker and for Ant-Man, so yeah, a lot of people were annoyed to see it used yet again on yet another Marvel character. But I'm not upset because I think it actually suits Joseph Quinn's Human Torch a lot, even though it's reused from other minifigures. So yeah, he probably could have gotten his own unique face paint that could have captured him even better. But I feel like this still works, so yeah, I'm happy with it. He comes with these two flame pieces which you can launch. I'm not going to do it so that I don't lose the piece. And he also comes with this thing which you can put on his legs. Hold on. Yeah. I'll put it back later. But yeah, you do that and he can fly. So that's really cool. They didn't include a version where he's fully in, flame on mode, where he's fully on fire. And again, I prefer the default version, but I do hope that they make a flame on version later on in another set, maybe for Avengers Doomsday, I don't know. But there is one thing I really don't like about this, and it's that when you put this thing on his legs, you can't have the individual legs pose separately from each other. Which is because, there's this piece which is a 2x1 instead of two separate 1x1s. I'm not sure why they did it like this. It's not a big deal, but, yeah, it's just present. And finally, we've got Ben Grimm, aka The Thing. This is probably the most controversial minifigure in this set because of how small he is. He's the exact same size as a normal minifigure, and I do agree that he should have been bulkier, but I don't think that making him a big fig like many people were hoping for is the right decision, because when you actually have a look at him, he isn't that big. I don't have a picture from the movie, but he is a picture from the comics, and you can see that he is bulkier, but he's not taller. Yeah, he really is mostly the same size as everyone else. So, yeah, I am definitely happier that this is a minifig instead of a big fig, but I do wish that he had like a chest piece which made him bulkier. Then there's also his head, which instead of being like a fully custom head mold, it's just a normal minifigure head with this head, I guess. And it's not perfect. Well, it's not good, really. It could be a lot better. I'm not sure why they did it like this. It doesn't really capture his head shape that well. Again, compare it with the comics. But I don't mind too much because this is still recognizable as The Thing, so sure, why not? And the fact that this is a normal minifigure head means that he can have an alternate expression, which is very nice. He also has these two gauntlets, to simulate his big rocky hands. Could be done better, but it's not a big deal for me. Okay, and now let's have a look at Galactus. So, yeah, this is a really cool big fig. Well, big fig isn't the right term, but, well, whatever. This is how he looks from the other side. I have one complaint with him, and it's that he kind of easily starts tipping forwards. Like, I don't really have to touch him that much in order for him to start falling over a little bit. So That's something I wish they did a little bit better. He's not really stable that much. But other than that, yeah, he's really good. I like him. I like that his colors are similar to his colors in the comics. You know, these very bright purple and blue colors instead of the duller grayish colors that he had in the movies. So that's the biggest thing I like about the minifigures. And obviously the designs aren't completely similar. In the comics he has a G on his torso, but in the movie and on this minifigure he has something else. Not sure why they changed it, but it's not a big detail, so I don't care. Uh, yeah, there's not really much I can say about this mini. Oh, yeah, this is what I said, that he's not very stable. I move him weirdly and he does this. So give me just a second, I'll put him upright and I'll also show what you can do with him. Alright, so I'm finished with the display. I've put up the minifigures on him to show, where you can put him and what kind of things you can do. So, most notably, for example, he can grab minifigures like Eat. He can, grab his legs with the other hand and make him stretch like he did in the movie. That was a fun scene. You can, of course, put some minifigures on him where they, stand on him, like Siu is doing here. There's another stud where you can also put a minifigure over there. Then I've also got Ben, on his foot, trying to, get him down or something. There's some more stats over here, and yeah, that's it, I think. And then also on the back, you can also attach this translucent thingy. And on that you can attach Johnny, aka the Human Torch, as he's flying around him. You could also put Sue there, because she can also fly with her invisible shields. But Johnny makes a little bit more sense. And of course you can also rotate it a little, so he can be over here, or he can be on the other side. Maybe you could also attach it to his head over here, but I'm not really sure about that. And yeah, that's pretty much all that the minifigure can do. But really, it's everything that you could desire. There's not really anything else that a minifigure, big figure could do. So I guess the only thing left is to talk about the set as a whole. So I really like how much this is just a basic version of Fantastic Four versus Galactus. There's not really anything extra, which is both a good thing and a bad thing, because there's not the Fantastica or a Herbie or a spaceship. Those things could be useful, but they're not necessary. But at the same time, there are some things that I think should have been included. Franklin Richards is, the most important one, because the climax evolved around him. And then also Silver Surfer should have been included. She's again, one of the most important characters in the movie and Galactus' herald. So yeah, I don't get why they didn't include at least her. It's a shame, really. But yeah, other than that, this is a good set, albeit a little overpriced. I think it cost $60. I don't remember. If you're a Lego Marvel fan, try to find this for a little bit cheaper, but I absolutely recommend this set. It is a great set with great minifigures and characters that you absolutely need, because, come on, it's the Fantastic Four. If you don't own this set yet, it's a mistake. But yeah, I thank you for watching, and now it's time for me to watch the Muppets.